everybody, and welcome to tonight's stream. Sorry about that. Forgot to put in a little bit of 3-minute delay, so we had to restart everything. So, my bad, y'all. Anyways, speaking of which, it's been a while since we've had some Overwatch play. And so tonight, Overwatch will be playing in the GBCC Tournament. This is kind of like a conglomerate of all the NACE schools, since NACE is not hosting their own Overwatch League this semester. And so we're just going to have some great fun action tonight. Cody, can you kind of just tell the people at home who are new to this kind of what our team did last semester in the tournaments they were in?
Last semester went very well for us. Personally, that's my opinion, but I think anyone looking at our record would agree. We did very well in our bracket, and I think overall we went around the 30th mark. Yeah, I think 34 exactly. And we did very well considering our bracket had Mizzou, one of the best teams, anywhere really.
Well, that's very true, Cody. And so for tonight, we do kind of have a lineup for you. There's some new faces going on as well for everything. And so here we are with our lineup for tonight. You do have, looks like the graphic is not wanting to cooperate tonight. Just give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. You have Deity Thomas on main tank roster along with Jonah, as you can see there. And then you have Trey Clev being played on DPS. New face there. And then Rickless Morty back on his traditional DPS role. And then you have DD Gaming on support with former DPS player Bite Me. And so this is kind of an interesting lineup, if I do say so myself, Cody. Can you kind of give us a bit of a highlight of what everyone's here doing?
Well, we switched things around this semester because Marcus, he's played a lot of Overwatch. He knows a lot about the game. And having him on support line works out for us because of how well his mechanics are. His mechanics are incredibly good. And being on support puts that to the best use, we feel. Because he's able to hit shots, like playing an Ana or Baptiste. He's able to land the shots. He knows where escape routes are. He knows where to find health kits. He knows how to kite properly as a support character. And they're talking about the new face, Trey, coming in. He's most experienced on DPS. So it makes sense for him to be there. And so he kind of just got cycled out, and he's been performing very well in scrims so far, and I'm hoping that holds up for the games this season.
Oh, totally, Cody. And so we're super excited to see our new Culver's lineup for Overwatch this semester. And we'll be right back with you with the action, so don't go away, and we look forward to seeing you all on the other side of this break. And welcome back, everybody. So kind of issuematic on the whole cut there, so we're just about ready to hop into the game here. Cody, we are going up against Davenport University tonight, so any kind of thought process on how UCM's going to play the match tonight?
Well, judging off how we've been practicing, I feel like we'd probably be running either Double Bubble or Brawl coming into Busan. Busan Mecha Base especially is incredible for Brawl because of the walls and all the cover that there is, and there's no real long sight lines where you can jump in and get a good dive off or hold that long angle and spam down their targets. So Brawl just works wonders on Busan with the tight corridors where you can just run at people, run them over.
And so do you think UCM will be playing more of a brawly comp then tonight with that in mind?
Compositions usually depend on the map. And see here coming into Busan, on this one, Brawl can work. Brawl can definitely work. There's good cover. There's not so many good sight lines, and there's not enough verticality for a good dive or a double bubble composition as there are with other maps. But there's still some sight lines to be had that a spam composition can find good ground on, and that's really an issue when you're trying to run a Brawl.
This is very true, and so I guess the question is, what would hinder UCM at this point in time with their composition? Because it looks like on the side of Davenport, they are going to be going with that double bubble, which is the Winston and the Zarya on the main tank role, which is kind of the signature for double bubble. What does UCM need to focus on to counter this double bubble strat?
They need to be able to win fights fast, very fast. Double Bubble, the composition itself runs around building and using ultimates to just run over fights without too much trouble. So they have to be able to drive home a fight and win it before they have a chance to build too much.
Okay, so this is what UCM's going to have to do. Jonah taking an early sleep here from Davenport's Kawa. And so looks like we're just going to be fighting around the side drum here to see what all happens. Big nade coming out from Bite Me, getting a couple of players under. Nope, never mind. It's just the yokai on the Davenport side. Bite Me is keeping Jonah healed up nice and well. Looks like Davenport's trying to figure out what all they want to do with the strat here. And so they're kind of holding back, as you said, just waiting to kind of jump in and see who their targets are. Jonah does come in and get Cypress down. Cypress falls to Jonah. Jonah getting a little damage out there, and so now Davenport is down a tank. It does look like Jonah will be able to pull through and take some things out. Deity taking out Chance on the Zarya here. Jonah is naded, is low on health, but does get a bubble from Deity. And so now we just kind of see UCM securing the point and does capture it and does get a nice 6% off on there. DD Gaming looks like he's trying to get in there, just speed onto his team, and they're continuing to charge in there. Like you said, Cody, this is what the Brawl is built around. You have to charge in there and do some stuff. Big hammer coming out from Jonah, slam. And that is it for Davenport. And Cody, this is what UCM needed to do, right? Just be super aggressive in most parts.
They need to play aggro. They need to, like you see right there, Reinhardt builds Earth Shatter incredibly quickly. So if he's able to get good swings, if he's able to just hit a giant shatter, run them all over, it's an easy win almost every time.
Easy win, and it does look like Drury's like, we're not playing double bubble anymore, guys. We're going to go Brawl here ourselves with the Reinhardt aspect. So they still hold on to the Genji as their DPS there, and it does look like they're going to be trying to do something, but it doesn't look like Trey with double high noon. Jonah again sweeping up some things. Trey taking a quick nap here, and yeah, UCM holding them back off into the spawn. And oh man, that was a lot happening there, and I kind of missed a lot of it. I'm sorry, but yeah, that was something fun there, Cody.
Yep, that's how you're supposed to run Brawl. You have to do things quickly. You saw there was a lot of ults invested in that fight, but it worked, and that's what matters. It matters that you're finding value with them. If you throw an ult out and it doesn't find anything, then it's wasted. If it finds something, then you're good.
This is very true, and it looks like Rickless Morty is able to get a little bit of damage down before Jonah hammers down and takes out the Luca, and then Yokai taking out Trey. Rickless Morty continuing to do some damage here. UCM is holding back on Drury. Drury's still trying to get in. Rickless Morty watching his side here of the Ana is getting a little bit dove by the enemy Lucio on Drury. Looks like Cypher is kind of going to be going down on some damage here. DD Gaming going in a little bit aggressive here onto the Drury backline and front line. He's just all over the place on that speed boost of his. Bite Me does get a nade, tries to heal himself up, doesn't work out. Graviton Surge coming out from Lucas. Lucas does get a lot done. Chance getting lots of damage done, and it looks like the other Lucio with the Deviant Skin does win that round. Can you kind of walk me through what all you think happened there? Why did UCM lose the point?
We got split. in a brawl composition, you have to play close. You have to all play together. And you saw there, we all kind of got spread out, and the fight started strong for us. We started off strong in the fight. We got a good shatter. We got some good picks. But then we spread out, and we kind of lost focus, and we weren't able to engage on a solid target and bring them down. And with brawl, you have to focus really hard on one person, and they just weren't able to.
This is so true. Bite Me is taken out by Yokai, so UCM does need to fall back. They do lose Jonah. Cypress does fall, though, on the side of Drury, so UCM is still down of a man advantage here. But I don't know if Drury's going to be able to come back. Nope, it looks like they will because UCM is regrouping here. So DD Gaming taxiing people on up. See if we can get that speed boost in. Looks like we're going to be just diving into the point here on the side of UCM. We'll see what all happens on that side. Yoki is just spamming in some storm arrows, trying to melt down Jonah. Graviton Surge coming out from Deity, and there is a hammer down from Jonah. No, Cypress, my bad. And Nano coming out onto Jonah. Beats coming out as well from Chance. Drury's pouring out all they can to get stuff done. Yokai is taking down Jonah, charges Yuki, and he is out of the match. And it looks like UCM will be able to kind of hold this point here if they're able to take out this last Zari, which it looks like that is going to be the case. DD, Jonah holding on to the point with DD, and now they have the ball out from Cypress. Looks like that's not going to work out so well. Jonah trying to hold the point as well as he can with a Cypress ball rolling around, knocking them off of the drum here. DD trying to keep him healed up, not really working out so well. Chance booping everybody off. Point is swapped back to Drury, and there we go again. That was just the ball pick kind of helped out Drury there, it appeared, Cody.
Helps out a lot. A ball is capable of getting solo picks and disrupting a team very well. And using that, they were able to use that to their advantage there because as a brawl composition, when you get displaced, brawl doesn't have a lot of mobility. So when you get displaced, you have to grind and grind to get every inch back, and they just struggled to do that.
So true here, and it looks like Deity is going to re-engage here with the rest of UCM, and Cypress is naded by Bite Me. It doesn't look like much is happening. Chance is going to... Big hammer coming out, getting rid of that Moria. Nope, never mind. Never mind, is naded down. Cowboy is down, but Rickless Mori does fall to Cypress. I hear Graviton Surge coming out from Lucas, but he is taking out Jonah. Just getting crazy. Yokai taking out Trey with his dragons. Jonah, again, just getting crazy up in here with all of his just aggressive Reinhardt play. He's looking to see who all he can kill. The Tracer does stick Jonah, though. Jonah down to 18 health. He's going to just have to hard shield this through, but UCM does get the point transferred over to them. Overtime is activated on the point, but Cypress is back on the point here with Lucas coming in on the Monkey. Kaiwa just trying to keep his tanks up and alive. It is 99 on 99 here for UCM and Drury. Drury doing their best to kind of hide behind the drum here. Lucas is going to take a lot of damage here. Graviton Surge coming out from Deity, and it looks like they're going to get a lot of damage out of Deity, taking out Lucas and Draskus. And Deity, again, taking out Chance. The tanks are just swapping roles here, just being able to do lots of damage. It looks like a C9, though, from Drury. And that is map part 3, depending on how far this goes, Cody. But UCM is currently in the lead on this map point.
That was incredibly well fought from both sides. I would say that you talk about the C9 at the end there, and that's just the way a Hanzo plays. Is they're not supposed to be in the thick of things. They're supposed to be a bit more withdrawn, and I feel like that habit just came out, and he started backpedaling when he should have stayed on point. It's just unlucky.
It is very unlucky, and so I guess the question is Drury going to stick with this kind of double dive tankish style? I guess is that going to be the best against UCM?
On this map, it definitely has potential. There's a lot of verticality on this map, and you're able to execute dives a lot easier than you were on that last one. So I feel like a dive composition definitely lends itself better. It's just diving into such a heavy brawl is not easy at all.
This is very true. There's a lot of burst potential and stun damage in the background if they do come after, like, Trey and Rickless Morty here, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and engage. Genji going in, does take out Trey, does take out Rickless Morty. Jonah trying his best to see what all he can do, does get stunned by the Brigida Chance, and it looks like that's going to be it for UCM. They're not going to be able to cap this point, and so now that is cleared out, and I guess what all happened there was what you said, the dive potential. They just dove the right targets, it looked like, Cody.
Yep. Like I was talking about with the verticality, they didn't have to invest anything to get there because they were already on the high ground, so they could just drop down without investing anything. And then they had all their cooldowns to move around and do whatever they had to in order to find value in that dive.
Yep, and it looks like UCM does take a swap here to where Jonah's on the Monkey. Double bubble-ish style coming in here. DD off onto the Brigida. Rickless here, as you can see, onto the Sombra. And then you do have Trey flying around on the Echo with that lovely new skin that we have seen from the event. And so now UCM is now kind of stuck in the choke. Doesn't look like it's going to be much kind of pushing out here from UCM. Drury is doing a lot of good work here, the Lord's work, if you might say. Cypress does try and get away. He is a little bit low. Trey chasing him down. Not much happening there, and he's probably going to get away. Yep, going to get away and get back onto his front line. Jonah diving in to see what kind of damage he can do on the side of Drury and whatnot. Space is created. Rickless Morty just trying to get enough off so he can charge up that EMP. Jonah continually dive in, bubble on him from Deity, and UCM is still getting some stuff off. Yokai is hacked from Rickless Morty, is taken down by Rickless Morty, getting that EMP charged up. UCM is in the man advantage right now. Chance is holding off on the thing, rallies it up. Nano boosted Monkey from Jonah, naded Chance, rallies out of the picture here. Both of the support lines is being taken out. Transcendence forced out from Kawa from UCM. Looks like that's going to work out pretty well for him. Dazzler does take out DD Gaming with a pulse bomb. Jonah ults into the monkey form, tries to take out the Zenyatta. Looks like he's just trying to find him. Does fall. Bite Me is out as well. Jonah just trying to do lots of work here on his roll, and it's going lots. Graviton Surge coming out from Deity. Multi ultimate coming out from Lucas. And so now it's just a matter of who's going to clean up who, and it does not look like it's going to be UCM. And so that is just going to be probably the end of the round here, because it's just now a trickling effect from UCM. Jonah tickling as many people as he can with his little tickle gun. Does take out Chance. Rickless Morty is taken out by Daz, and so Jonah is now knocked out by Lucas. Kawa here watching out for stuff. Trey does duplicate the Winston to bring in another tank lineup here for UCM. Deity on the ball, trying to do as much damage as he can. Not much happening here. Not a lot of healing from UCM. Both healers are down. UCM will eventually fall to Drury here, it looks like. And overtime is activated on the point. Rickless Morty just continuing to contest the point. Not really going to work out. And now it is tied 1-1. Next one is map point. Cody, what all went wrong for UCM on this map?
I would say starting with the brawl wasn't necessarily a bad idea, but like I was talking about earlier, the idea of a double bubble is to build ultimates. And switching to double bubble second, you've lost so much time already to build that ultimate economy that you need. You just can't find as much value if you don't have the ultimates.
So true, so true. And so UCM will be hopping on to this next point here, and we'll see how well it goes for them. Looks like they're going to be sticking with that double bubble theory along. Looks like their Drury is again going kind of with this double divey tank thing. Scratch that. Jonah has swapped to the Reinhardt, so they're wanting to go a bit brawl Trey onto the Reaper. Looks like they're going to try and burst down the damage or burst down the tanks if they can, because they have a gut feeling that they're going to be diving them in. Jonah just pushing up super hard here onto Drury, trying to see what damage he can do. Does fall back. Yeah, looks like Lucas is going to dive in to get some damage off. Cypress and Lucas Magic are down. Both tanks are down on the side of Drury. UCM has a man advantage here. Will they be able to take advantage of it? Looks like Drury is pulling back. They are a little bit separated on the side of their supports and their Genji. It looks like UCM will be able to get the point first. Jonah watching the doorway here, seeing what all damage he can do. And that is just, that was a good take by UCM.
That was a very clean fight.
The brawl take worked out. Lucas Magic switching off of the Winston to the Diva on the side of Drury. And so now UCM is going to have a little bit more of a aggressive-ish dive tank, I feel like, compared to what Winston does. And so this is going to be fun here. Still watching the top of the stairwell here on the side of UCM. They're not really wanting them to come through. Looks like Cypress is gunning to try and bump people through. Jonah is bopped through the door. Does not take a lot of damage through that. Gets lots of support. Naded is Yokai and Lucas Magic on the side of Drury from Bite Me. And so now it's just UCM is pushing them back as far as they can. Trey is just doing so much damage on this Reaper. And that's just something nice to see. You don't see Reaper done a lot. Deity does take out Yoki, and now it's just it's kind of a weird trickle effect now on the side of Drury. They're doing their best to see what all they can do. Drury lining up here on the left side on UCM's end, and I just they're going to have to regroup. What all does Drury need to do to take the point back, Cody?
I would say a brawl of their own, like they're doing right now. It's on this map you need that stay power, and because there's enough cover to back around, you just need to be able to hold a point.
Yep, that's so true. Nano coming out on Bite Me onto Jonah. Jonah getting a little aggressive, waiting to see if he can get that juicy hammer. And I don't know if he's going to be, I don't think he's going to need it. UCM just drilling through and able to just take out so many people. Trey and Deity just sweeping up damage into people. Jonah a little bit far away from his healers, but does find him again. Deity on high charge here, looks like 100. Graviton Surge coming out, hammer down from UCM. There's a nano out onto their Cypress, and UCM is going to have to just hold into the doorway here. It's not looking too good for him. Never mind, looks like UCM will be able to hold on to the door here. Great heals coming out from Bite Me and DD Gaming, and just able to keep the team kind of alive and in motion. And so it looks like UCM in about 5% will be able to hold on to the point. This is Jury's last push to try and get in there. Beat coming out from DD Gaming. High Noon coming out from Rickless Morty, doesn't able to seem like he find anything. And then not much coming out from Drury as they're trying to get much damage out. DD does fall, and then so does Cypress from Trey. Lucas Magic takes out Trey, and then Deity just here, just taking out damage. And, you know, this is just it. UCM looks like they're able to solidify the point here. There's the McCree hopping down from Drury, but that's about it. Looks like UCM will be holding on to the point here. Jonah charging in to just end it off. And that will be a map victory for UCM. Cody, that was just something cool. That was just something great. I am super hyped on what all that got us. It's just, I'm super hyped on what all we got from that. So, that was just something fun, So, we'll take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back with you.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate it. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Thank you for joining us today. Before today's match, we'll be going over the rules of Overwatch. Overwatch is a 6v6 team-based game, where each map has specific objectives to complete. At the beginning of the match, and at any time during the game, the players can move into a spawn room that allows them to choose what character they want to play. They can also do this while waiting to respawn. There are 3 types of heroes that can be played. Tanks specialize in protecting allies, disrupting enemies, and occupying the front line. They have high survivability and abilities that protect themselves and others with shields and crowd control. Damage heroes are responsible for seeking out, engaging, and defeating the enemy using their varied tools, abilities, and playstyles. Lastly, support are heroes that heal, buff, and provide utility. Support heroes boost the overall performance of their team by increasing their survivability, speed, and damage output. They're generally the worst duelists and are best when surrounded by teammates. Throughout the match, players have a select set of abilities that can be used. All heroes have at least 2, although some have more. Each character also has an ultimate ability that must be charged by dealing damage or healing. Each match takes place on one of 4 types of maps: Assault, Payload, Control, or Hybrid. Payload maps have an objective that players must push to the end of a set track, with the other team defending. Whichever team can push their payload further wins. Assault maps have 2 objectives that one team must try to capture while the other team defends. Hybrid maps are a combination of the last 2 mentions, with one team capturing a point and then pushing it along a track. In control maps, players must fight over one point located in the middle of the map and hold it to fill their percentage. Finally, whichever team has won the most rounds by the end of the match will win the game.
And welcome back, everybody. We are here on the UCM versus Drury match.
Thank you for joining us today. Before today's match, we'll be going over the rules of Overwatch. Overwatch is a 6v6 team-based game.
Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit of technical difficulties. So, yeah, UCM and Drury. Drury does pick Numbani here. Cody, what do you think about that pick?
I think it works very well for Davenport. I mean, Numbani is a great dive map. It always has been. Like Watch Point Gibraltar, it's just great for the verticality and the set. You can set up in this position and get to the enemy team incredibly easily with the dive, and it just works out very well. And I feel like we play a bit more brawly, we tend to, but coming out here defending at this point, I feel like would be our biggest issue. because you have to set up on different high grounds, and you have to play a whole lot differently. You have to think slower. You have to move slower. You can't engage as hard, and we need to keep that in mind coming into this. Otherwise, we'll get outdove, we'll get outshone, and things won't go our way.
Things might get a little dark if UCM's not on their toes here. It does look like we're going with a double bubble strat on the side of UCM. We saw how difficult it kind of was for UCM on the other side. So I don't know. This might not be the best call for them, but then again, if they want to be meta, they do need to be flexible. So this is going to be rather interesting on the side of UCM on how well they're going to adapt. So it looks like Drury's going with that ball diva strat, a bit more of a divish comp for him. And so UCM, Rickless Morty already taken out by Das, and so that's already a man down for UCM. Trey does take a little bit of damage from Drury. And so this is where the nitty-gritty kind of happens. And so UCM just kind of holding on to the high ground here on the side of Deity. Jonah jumping into the background here, seeing what all kind of damage he can do. He does get dive on by Drury, but Trey and Das kind of get knocked out by each other. Tanks are still alive for both sides. Jonah taking lots of damage down below and does eventually fall to C-Press. Rickless Morty trying his best to just get some hacks off and do some damage. Doesn't look like much is going to happen. He does fall. No trans was out for him to save his butt. And so UCM does seem to fall and does lose first point on Numbani. What was it, just too far apart? Not enough calls? What happened there, Cody?
It's hard to tell, but it looked like they tried to counter dive. But when they tried to counter dive, they didn't invest enough. And when it comes to a dive, you have to invest almost everything into it. You have to burst whatever your target is. You have to burst it down so fast when you dive, and it just didn't happen.
That's so true here. And then Cypress going in on Jonah. Jonah does take a lot of damage and does fall. Rickless Morty taking out Yokai. Cypress is a little bit low and does seem to get away with his life. And so UCM able to at least get some ult charge off of one of the Drury players, but not much really. So UCM, again, having to play a little bit of a slower comp here, just waiting to see when they can get in there. Jonah on his way back from spawn. Das is coming up behind, trying to see what damage he can do to UCM in the back line. Just waiting to see what all he can do. Deity does take a bit of damage there. Cypress going and gets hacked and stunned. Looks like he's going to be falling down. Jonah hops in onto the action in the background. Not much is really happening to him there. UCM just kind of doing their best to contest Drury, but not much is happening. Bite Me is taken out by Kawa from a Discord and a good old right click from Drury. Rally coming out. High Noon out as well from Trey. Does get Yoki, but not much really happens there on the side of UCM because the card's still kind of moving. Trey falls down with some partners there, but not really working out. And again, this was kind of more of a resistance-less, if that's the word. No. It's just no resistance from UCM really on that point, Cody.
Second point Numbani is one of the hardest to defend. It's so short, and there's so few good sightlines on the defending side. It's just it's hard to make work. It's almost impossible to make work.
Oh, so true. Jonah does take a pulse bomb to the face and is forced to use his pulse or use his ultimate here as the monkey. EMP coming out, and that is a 4-man EMP from Rickless Morty. UCM trying to follow up. Yokai is knocked out by Jonah. Jonah taking lots of damage from the enemy tanks. Does not look like he's going to survive this one, ladies and gentlemen. And so Jonah does fall to Lucas Magic. And so now Diva Bomb coming out from Lucas Magic takes out Deity. Cypress is slept. DD Gaming is out as well. It does not look good for UCM here. Jonah coming out on his signature ball. We'll see if he's able to counter anything that Drury is bringing out on the table here. Jonah just slamming out, trying to see what he can do. Nano Boost is out on, looks like Rickless Morty from Bite Me. Deity launching on a Graviton Surge. Dragon Blade coming out from Yuki. Yuki taking out Trey and Rickless Morty. Looks like he's going to keep it going. Deity is out also by the Dragon Blade. And it does look like UCM's not able to kind of hold off onto the point here. UCM seeing what all they can do. Jonah just the last one to contest, really. His survivability is high, but not that high. UCM does fall. It looks like Drury's going to be able to hold on the point. Trey going Doomfist again just for that quick spawn redo. And so UCM just trying their best to just contest everything. DD does get discorded by Koa. Koa taking him out with a quick foot punch. And then so now UCM just trickling in onto the point here, trying to do as much work as possible. Not much really happening on the side of UCM, just quick contests. Not a lot of progress for them. Transcendence coming out from Drury as they contest the point here, just trying to get that last 0.37 meters, and it looks like UCM is running out of juice in the tank, and 0.27 meters, and UCM fails to stop Drury from capping, and so that is round one complete. A full push on Numbani with 3 minutes and 51 seconds left on the clock. Cody, that was That was painful. That was
rough. That was very rough. The problem there with UCM, I think, was that they never had a really good chance to set back up like they wanted to. They didn't have a chance to take high ground and get everyone in the right position and find the right situation to make something work, because Davenport was able to just keep the pressure on. When you have double dive tanks, when you have such a harsh dive, you have so much mobility, you can just keep chasing and chasing and chasing and stagger them out so that they can't get a full team recontest and make something happen. And they just don't have enough resources to invest to win a fight.
Oh, that's very true. That is what appeared to have happened to UCM. So basically on this one, what kind of defense do you think Drury's going to be doing? Is it going to be more of a divey one, it looks like here? Or is like, so how should UCM approach this attack phase?
It's difficult on Numbani because a dive defense works very well all the time. The natural counter to a dive would be a brawl. If they want to, they could brawl off them. They could brawl them off high ground and force them and just take space. They wouldn't necessarily be getting many picks. They wouldn't be getting many kills, but they'd be forcing space and taking control of space. And it contested in like first point here. That's what matters, because the space is the point.
This is very true. You're telling me you need to play the objective in this game? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
It's a rare thing to see, but tends to win a little bit more.
Just a little bit more. Anyway, so UCM is getting a little bit aggressive here. Looks like Jonah and the rest of the crew are looking to kind of come up stairwell here onto the little balcony area off to the side of the point. UCM just slowly kind of progressing, waiting to see. Bubble is out on Jonah. Not much of a useful bubble does appear. So looks like Yuki is coming in for a little bit of dive. Nade coming out. Lucas Magic is low. About burstable out of his mech. Yokai does fall to Deity. And so UCM does have a man advantage right now against Drury University. And so I just don't know what all is going to happen here. But Jonah just keeps marching through along with Deity. Deity just trying to keep everybody alive. Lucas Magic pressuring the back line. DD Gaming does fall to a nice boop from Cypress. Don't you worry, folks. That will be nerfed probably in the future here. And Cypress coming in with a big seismic slam. UCM just holding onto the high ground here as best as they can. Yuki A's back. There's a nano boost out. I thought I heard a nano boost. By me, nano boost somebody. I don't know who. But UCM still holding onto the high ground here very desperately.
Probably boosted Jonah, if I had to guess.
You're probably right, UCM. Yep, they did. They boosted Jonah. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. But Deity holding onto the point here. Trey helping out and taking out Yuki. Jonah is still down. They do demech Lucas Magic and take care of the little baby diva. Cypress is still out and about on the point, I'm guessing. I don't know where he disappeared to. But UCM does get 2 ticks onto the point. Will they get a third before a contest happens? Or are they going to contest? No, never mind. Drury lets UCM cap the point. So we'll see if that's a fatal mistake on not contesting it while they had the chance or not. I mean, they still, guess they could technically have contested, but I guess it'd be smarter not to. Anyways, moving on. Jonah diving in onto the back line here. It looks like of Drury, but does fall back to his front line area just to keep himself alive because he is a little bit of squishy. Just a little bit of squishy as being a tank. And does melt down a few people up top. There is a blade waiting on Yuki. We'll see if Yuki is going to use something pretty fancy with that blade. There is Pulse Bomb and Mines out. Transcendence as well. There's going to be probably a very nice ult fight here coming up. So we're just going to wait. Say Dragon Bite coming out from Drury and Pulse Bomb. Deadeye takes out Yuki, and so UCM is able to kind of even out the fight there. No, it looks like it's a pretty even man fight advantage. Here's Jonah out on the ult monkey. Does die to Lucas Magic with a Discord placed on his face. And so now UCM is going to have to just kind of hold out and retreat there. Nothing much else. DD Gaming does have Rally up and ready. Just has to stay around. He's going to rally, and he says, let me walk forward and just swing this mace to the face and whatnot. You can hold on to your high ground, but I am on the payload, and we're going to push this baby all the way through. UCM getting that yummy, yummy rally and staying up and alive. Lots of armor being distributed right now, and it might be enough to get him to the next point. Looks like Drury is pulling back. Not really wanting to contest much of that. Reckless Morty does have Dragon. Rally coming out on the side of Chance from Drury. There is an ultimate. Transcendence coming out. Dragons as well. Everything's coming out from everybody. And we'll see what the chaos brings. And it looks like UCM might be able to just stand tall and proud. UCM just continuing to do as much damage. Never mind. Trey and Bite Me do fall in the team fight. DD just trying to wreck face. DD taking out Cypress. Jonah is down as well. Reckless Morty is down too. And does not look like UCM is going to hold on to much. DD and Deity are trying to fall back as best as they can. Not much else happening. It's amazing. Nope, never mind. So, Deity does fall, so does Deity, and this will be a hard reset for UCM. Cody almost had it. Almost had it. They outdove us. They were able to dive better. We didn't
when I say Davenport needs to build ults, typically you want to be able to invest 2 to 3 if you have to. You don't want to invest more than 1, but I mean, if the fight comes down to it, you want to be able to invest 2 to 3.
Now, this is very true.
I think they got the timings a little off. Like, that rally was very good. The grab was good. And the dragons were good, but if they could have forced out trans before it happened, they could have forced out transcendence, I think it would have gone so much better.
Nano boost onto Jonah as he dives into the backline to see if he can take care of stuff. Dragon Blade does come out on the side of Yuki. Yuki is doing lots of, I guess, work. I don't know. Is he doing anything? He does take out Reckless Morty. He is on 7 HP, trying to see what all he can do. Monkey does fall on the side of UCM. He's going to do his best. DD Gaming does take out UCM stuff. Looks like we're getting some mines out as well from Cypress. UCM and Drury just trading ults back and forth, and it just seems like Drury is having the better ultimate time here as well, but DD is able to just continue to just mace to the face of these mines and just kind of stay alive. Reckless Morty just continuing to look for hacks to see what all he can do. Deity melting down the enemy Diva. Hacked is Cypress from Drury, and it looks like a big Diva bomb coming out from Lucas Magic. Does take out Deity. Jonah taking out Chance. UCM is just having to push forward. Big Monkey coming out. Trey with an ultimate of his own. Doesn't seem to get much. Yuki is down. Chance is out. And it looks like UCM will be able to cap this next point. And so, yeah, lots of stuff happening. Who's contesting? Nobody knows. Lucas is down. And UCM does finally get the second point on Numbani. Cody, this next one's going to be a toughie, it looks like.
Well, that's why Jonah went Brawl. That's why they're going Brawl now. Third point here, Brawl works a lot better than Dive typically, because you're able to just walk down, because there's some verticality, but there's not enough to execute a good dive, and there's some sight lines, but not enough to make a good spam work. It just lends itself very well to a Brawl comp.
Oh, this is very true, and it looks like Drury's just going to go ahead and just nip this in the bud. They dive in. Looks like Das is taken out. There is a rally brought out from Drury, and so that's just kind of cut the ult there off. UCM pushing the cart up and trying to get as much progression as they can. Cypress waiting up top to see if he can get a juicy slam onto UCM. He gets it. There's a grab out from Deity, and Bite Me does fall to Yuki. Yuki is taken out. Jonah looking to hold on to the cart. Deity does fall to Yuki as well. Jonah taking out Yoki. And so UCM just kind of having to fall back. Not a lot of healing on the side of UCM with Bite Me being down, but Jonah doesn't really care that much. He's just going to continue swinging that hammer and take some damage out on some people. That Tracer's a little slippery on the side of Drury. Jonah having to fall back and get some healing done on him so that he doesn't quickly die here, so the team fight can initiate with a full 6 stack onto this point. This isn't competitive. You want all 6 players, people. Remember that. Cypress going back behind to do another seismic slam. UCM notices that. Just waits. Nope, it's a mine shaft coming down. EMP coming out from Reckless Morty. Looks like UCM might be able to get something pulled off. Never mind. Das and Lucas are doing lots of stuff in the back line. Jonah trying his best to try and contest stuff, but not much is going to happen here. Deity taking out Das. Jonah working hard to see what all he can do. Not looking too hot on UCM. They get like these nice opportunities, but then they just fall back. And just because the backline just keeps getting shredded, Cody.
Yep, that's how a dive works. A dive needs to tear apart a backline. If the backline doesn't exist, the front line can't do any work. And they're doing it very well.
So true. Big hammer coming out from Jonah. He is nano boosted. Looks like he's going to try and do some damage. High Noon coming out from Trey, but he is taken out before he can get anything off. Big old bomb coming out from Lucas Magic, but he does take the price. Das is able to take out Reckless Morty, but has continued to living. Jonah and Deity trying to see what they can do on the point. Jonah does have a Discord on him. Das is slept, discorded, and then eliminated from life there by UCM. A big blade looks like it's coming out from Yuki. Yuki trying to see what kind of damage he can do. Deity does fall to Lucas Magic. Trey falls down to Lucas. Beat coming out from DD Gaming. It does keep everybody kind of alive, but Reckless Morty trying to see what all he can do in the background here, but nothing much is happening. And so UCM, again, in this kind of trickle effect that's going on, and now so UCM just not being able to kind of pull off the stuff that we expected them to do. Jonah on that signature ball trying to get some stuff done. No, never mind, that was Deity. Jonah on the monkey trying, you're gonna have to keep diving in. Trey falls on the soldier. UCM not able to get much done. Das continues to melt everybody, and that'll be it. And Davenport will take Numbani, which ties this series up 1-1. And so that's just, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And so we're not going to worry about that play of the game. We don't watch play of the games unless they're ours. That's just the normal quick play rules, everybody. And that's just kind of what we're going to roll off of. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after a quick break, and we'll see what the next map is.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
College, you don't want a piece of paper. You want an opportunity. The opportunity to lead, to innovate, to transform. The opportunity to excel beyond what you thought possible. At the University of Central Missouri, your goals are achievable because we give you more support so your ambition faces fewer obstacles. Embrace your potential with the backing of 150 years of academic excellence, with undergraduate and graduate degrees available in Warrensburg, Lee Summit, and online. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
And welcome back, everybody. We're here at, looks like some Dorado on a classic escort map. UCM and Drury are tied 1-1 in the series right now. Cody, this is a best of 5 for this tournament, so UCM or Drury has to make 3 map points. We could be here all night with the way these two teams are playing.
It's a knockdown, drag out kind of fight right now, but on this map especially, we've had a lot of good times on this map. So I'm confident in UCM's ability to take this map.
I hope so too. It looks like it's a bit more of a brawling map, so that would make sense as to why they kind of picked it. And so I'm excited to kind of see Jonah and Deity working so well together. What I'd like to see more, I think, on my end, is a little bit more poppy-offiness from our DPS life. I know they've been doing work, don't get me wrong. They've been doing lots of good work, but it just seems like there's a competition between the DPS duo and the tank duo here of who can get the most kills, if you ask me. So.
Yeah. Well, the tank line we're running right now, Zarya is kind of like a third DPS. She does so much damage. She can sustained and burst. She has a great crowd control ultimate, and Reinhardt is just a tank in every sense of the word. He's big, he's intimidating, he controls the space around him very well, and it allows him to find a lot of value even when that value is getting a kill.
This is very true, and so it looks like Drury is going to be able to push this, kind of open up. UCM is transitioning to the underpass here over in the market area. Looks like Cypress is able to kind of boop some people around on the side of UCM, but does take a lot of damage, but is able to escape, get back, and get some heals off with his team. And looks like Drury is just kind of play this slowly. They're playing kind of like a weird double dive, if you want to look at it, because it's kind of like double bubble, but it's double dive tanks. doesn't look like much is going to happen on the side of Drury until they're ready with their ultimates, which is kind of what they're hinging a lot of their attacks on. So UCM just has to be able to get in there and get some kills and charge up their ultimates faster in these type of situations. UCM just holding off onto the underpass here. And Cody, is that just kind of the plan here, just to keep building up those ultimates and just be ready to just stun them out of everything?
Yep. With a Brawl on an escort map, you're just trying to keep them off court. Like, Brawl plays to space, so you just keep them off cart. You control the space around a cart, and you don't let them find any value there, and then you use your close combat to find that value when they try to get close to point, and don't let them find anything.
Also true here. Looks like Das is coming around, but Rickless Morty says no mas, and so does do a high noon, does demech Lucas, and continues to kind of try and fan the hammer here. Does get a shot off onto Lucas in the background, though, looking for Loki. Yoki is in the back, just trying to retreat and get back to his team here. UCM does secure the hold. Rickless Morty taking no prisoners. And, yeah, UCM will have a successful hold here on this first point, and this is looking fairly good for UCM so far, Cody.
Coming up on both support ults here, and they probably wouldn't use them at the same time. Typically what you'll see is you'll see a window come out, and if things still don't look good enough, then a beat comes out. Beat is very much a reactive ultimate in this comp, unless you are hard engaging, which on defense you typically won't do.
This is very true. It looks like a rally is going to come out on the side of Drury through chance. Nade coming out. Rickless Morty is hit along with Bite Me. Looks like, and a freaking blade coming out from Yuki. Yuki going to be able to do anything. Does get hammered down by Jonah. Jonah pegs him and says, no mas, signore. You are knocked out. You don't get the blade anymore in my town. Jonah taking matters into his own hands with this hammer. And UCM still trying their best to kind of hold this point. Jonah not leaving it. And Trey tries to get a Death Blossom off, but is knocked out of it by chance. UCM able to kind of stabilize here and hold off on the point due to the just the flies dropping on the side of Drury, but I can't deny that Drury, that was a very strong attack on the side of Drury. It was just elegantly, I guess, canceled out by UCM.
Yeah, we played very well. Like you saw there when he went for a blade, when I said beat was reactive. That's what I mean. As soon as you hear that blade, Dylan, DD Gaming is going to pop his beat, and he won't find any value. Blade does a lot of damage, but not enough to burn through a beat.
Not so much at all. Nano coming out on the side of Drury. UCM, Rickless Morty does get Yuki, and Rickless Morty again gets chance, looking to get some more kills. Nade coming out, Bomb coming out, Rickless Morty taking out 3 by himself. Jonah takes Cypher's out his counterpart. Deity taking out Kawa on the side of Drury. UCM again stabilizes on this side of the point. And man, Rickless Morty just on fire right now. It looks like Drury says we got to quickly change this up. Dash switching to the McCree instead of the Tracer. Lucas Magic onto the Zarya. Looks like we're trying to do a brawl counter here. Kawa switching to the Baptiste instead of having the Ana. Bit of an interesting play, but then again, we don't have it on of our own, so this should be rather fun. We're going to have lots of probably, little discus coming out to keep people alive. Graviton Surge coming out from Drury. Life-saving thing, but they're grabbed off the point. That's a G9, everybody. So UCM holding off freaking Drury from point 1. Cody, that was poggers.
That was this is what I'm saying when I say that we brawl well. We brawl so well. And you were talking about how they switched last second. They should have switched to brawl earlier and just tried to out-brawl us, because things typically would go better if they try that. But they stuck on Ana for too long. Ana, she's a great character. She is an anti, which stops all healing, but Baptiste can just say, oh yeah, everybody in this circle, you don't die. It works perfectly for a brawl. You just get to say, yeah, everybody here, you're living. You're fine.
You're all living. And so as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, UCM just has to push the cart to this box. And so, I mean, as we saw, Drury did have a struggle just getting it to first point, so that might mean UCM will have an issue as well. But then again, this is a Brawly-esque map, and I do believe UCM will have the advantage here, as Cody has so elegantly described to us, of the differences and the strengths between the two compositions. And so, man, I'm kind of hyped to see if UCM can push it all the way there. I've seen people stop before, but, I mean, what all does Drury have to do to shut down that push?
Well, like they did on Numbani, they have to tear apart our backline. If they tear apart our backline, our front line can't do anything. And with them playing dive like they are, I can see them doing it. I can see them pulling it off.
That's definitely true here. So UCM is getting all onto the cart, just kind of hanging around waiting to see what all is going to happen. Cypress, Das, and Yoki is waiting on top of the roof. Yoki falling back to the rest of his backline. DD trying to see if he can dismantle anybody from the top ground. He does get a little bit low. Das and Cypress do fall onto UCM, trying to get some damage out on him, but UCM does continue to hold on to the point here. Cypress is a bit cornered up. Might get knocked out, but no, is saved by his Zarya there, Lucas. And so they are falling back, and it looks like UCM will be able to get to the underpass here. And this is just within the halfway point, basically, to where they need to win it out. Yoki and Cypress falling down to the underpass, see what all they can do. Cypress does fall. UCM has the man advantage. Reckless Morty hopping over the top, taking out Cowie. And so UCM does again have now the advantage, not only in healing, but in man numbers. UCM continuing to hold on to the point. Chance falls to Trey. UCM able to continue to push. Lucas is trying his best to contest DD. Das as well. Yoki does fall to Jonas Hammer. UCM still getting in there. Cypress coming in with the ball, bopping him off. Everyone's going now. Jonas says, no, you're coming with me, little buddy. We're going to go off to the side here and just have a good old time. Jonah and the team holding off onto the point here. UCM able to have a good brawl push out here. Getting stalled out by Drury, so Drury is able to kind of get some kind of defense together for their players here. And so UCM again, but no, all the cues being laid out by UCM saying we want that square victory, and we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, UCM will take Dorado, which makes it 2-1 UCM. Cody, that was something pretty stellar. Pretty stellar. And as I said, this is a UCM POTG, so we will watch Rickless Morty here do something pretty poggers. This is his little high noon that he did earlier. Look at this. Cody,
That's really good. That's Sean. That right there, that's the Sean I know. He's always been incredibly reliable. He came in as a console player, and so his PC mechanics, they were pretty bad. He took his time. He learned the setup. He learned all of it, and he got really good.
Oh, he did. And so with that being said, we're going to get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with you.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business.
I'm going in. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. I'm going in. Fall into oblivion. Fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So we are here with UCM versus Davenport University. Yes, I did finally get it to where I can do things. Okay, we're about to have probably another technical glitch. I'm going to be pressing enter again. Do excuse the issues. I'm so sorry. So we're just going to go ahead and do this little thing called hide chat. For all of you non-people who want to deal with toxicity, this is how you get rid of. You do that, and then you press enter. We'll be right back. Never mind. So we're just going to exit out of that. I tried, everybody. I tried. My apologies to everyone who had to deal with that kind of a technical difficulty. Anyways, UCM is in the lead 2-1. I know the graphic doesn't say that because OBS numbers are hard. So we'll get that fixed for next time, I promise. Looks like UCM is going to be playing on Oasis against Davenport. I'm taking it that Oasis was Davenport's pick here. And Cody, is this going to work out in UCM's case with their brawl-heavy composition?
I honestly don't know. There's good points where you can hold the corner and brawl it out, but there's a really good high ground. There's in the middle of a point, there's to the left a point on that jump pad is what we call it, and it's just really good for both team compositions. So it's hard to tell. It just comes down to who plays it better.
This is very true. It looks like Kawa is able to get a nade out onto Deity. Deity does get healed up, though. The nade effect does fall out. Sleep brought up by Kawa. Nothing much happening there. UCM holding onto the point. Lucas and Cypress are holding in the background. UCM and looks like Davenport are just kind of waiting to see what all is going to happen. Looks like Das is going to hop in on the high ground, seeing what all he can melt down Deity. Again, just trying to move around, try and boot people off. This is definitely a Mexican standoff between UCM and Davenport. Nobody really wants to dive in or hop in on anybody. You have Davenport with the high ground, so Obi-Wan Kenobi is obviously going to win this duel of fates, but UCM is still holding on to the low ground fairly okay if they're able to get around and kind of deal with Cypress. But again, the nade coming out from Kawa is pretty scary on their side. UCM is doing their best to see what all they can do. DD Gaming just trying to get some people off of the high ground. Trey does take a lot of damage from Davenport there, and so again, somebody has to get down here and do some damage, Cody.
Well, right now, both teams are looking for a mistake. Davenport's going to try and find someone to get out of position so that they can dive, and then UCM's going to look for somebody out of position so that they can run them over. And I don't think either team is going to try and make that mistake because neither of them want to get outplayed right now.
Neither one really does. Didi does try to go with a sneaky Reddit Lucio flank, but is caught out. So UCM is able to get a little bit of looks like point control there. DD does still come around, boops off the Ana. Looks like UCM is able to get a little bit of somebody out of position, so now they're just like, hey, get the Ana. And so UCM does, and they take him out. Cypress does fall. Trey as well. DD coming in with some boops. Lucio, game's coming through. DD does fall, though, but UCM does get a good man advantage. Lucas is demacked and then knocked out of the living. UCM is able to hold on to the point. Looks like Das is trying to hold on to stuff. Jonah tries to do some calculated charges. Not much happens. Trey does end up taking care of Das, and UCM does finally get the point. It looks like that Reddit Lucio stuff that Dylan likes to do worked out there, Cody.
That's one of the hidden Lucio. He doesn't do much healing, but his ability to speed his team around and then use his speed to flank himself and displace, like with his boop. You saw him displace the Ana, and that works so well. And being able to execute that can win a fight in and of itself.
So true. Looks like Cypress is going to fall back onto the point to try and pull UCM back, which does work out. UCM is trying to contest everything. Das looking for a quick flank, see what he can take care of on UCM's side. Nerf out coming out from Lucas. Doesn't really get much done on there, but does distract UCM enough to get them back onto the point. Jonah getting a little aggressive, trying to see what all he can do. Blade coming out with a nano from Yoki. Beat does come out. Yoki is low on health, is taken out by UCM. Jonah with his hammer ready to see if he can get anybody. That blade did not work out so well. Mine's coming out from Cypress to again contest the point. UCM still holding on to everything. Does get knocked up from the air. Looks like UCM is still able to kind of hold on to this point. Reckless Morty does take out a chance. Is taken out by Das. Trey taking out Cypress. UCM is just again trying to hold on to the point as best as they can. Does look like they have a bit of a less man advantage. DD is the only heals right now for them. Big hammer coming out from Jonah. And DD coming up to get that nice little boop onto the Tracer. And UCM is continuing to hold on to the point and does get everything stabilized. Cody, that looked bad.
That was a little sketchy here and there, but I mean, a brawl composition has so much stay power. Reinhardt has so much health, and then you tack on top of that the 1600 health he gets effectively from holding shield, and then a Zarya bubble to just nullify damage. It's incredible.
Rally coming out from Chance, and then we got a high noon coming out from Reckless Morning. Nothing much really happens there. Chance again just trying to get his armor packs out onto his peoples. Doesn't look like much is able to stay on there. Amplification Maker coming out from Bite Me. UCM is doing their darndest to just hold on to this point. Nano coming out onto Cypress, and UCM is still holding on to the point. Nade is out onto Jonah. He's back to being healed up, though. So UCM just doing their best to hold on to the point. Trey low on health. UCM is just trying to dance around the issues here on the point. And so Trey does help taking out Cypress with the assistance of Reckless Morty. Reckless Morty, again, just getting some fires of just taking them out here and there. UCM does win the first map on this match point of this map. That was a very confusing sentence, but it's a thing, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta win at least 2 of these to win the whole map. So, that's the fun part. Cody, what all does Drury need to do to try and keep this a tight game?
They need to do what they did on Numbani. If they're gonna stick on their dive like they have, they're switching to Brawl now. But if they were stuck on their dive, they needed to tear apart a backline. But here on Brawl, okay, they just went Mei. If they can get a good Mei wall, if they can split the team up, I mean, it's over. If you split them off like that, they don't have any resources from their backline. They're not able to back up. They're not able to reposition themselves, and they will just lose. They'll just die. They'll be down a man, and after that, the fight is very much hard won if they can even try.
This is going to be rather interesting because UCM is now running a ball and a Reinhardt onto this map, so I guess they're just expecting to hold on to the dark here. UCM just holding off into this hallway. Shield does break, but they are able to take out Das. UCM doing their best, and Cypress taken out by Reckless Morty. UCM pushing in as best as they can, holding on to the point. Does get walled off Deity. Looks like he's going to be knocked out. DD Gaming doing his best to keep people alive. Not working out so well. Reckless Morty again kind of popping off. Looks like the DPS are kind of carrying their way to victory here for UCM, and that will be a point secure for UCM. The Mei did seem to help a little bit with taking care of the Reinhardt problem, but it didn't look like to take care of the rest of the team problem.
I don't think they predicted the ball pick. I think the ball pick was something they could never anticipate, and I think it's working out incredibly well for UCM here.
It kind of is, but Jonah trying to get out of there because he does get kind of stunned up. UCM goes in there and pockets Jonah as best as they can. UCM trying to just retreat back and get out of the amplification matrix area. Maywall coming out from Drury. UCM pops out the mines in the air corridor pathway so that Drury has to kind of walk through those. Amplification makes her coming out. Hammer is blocked by Drury. UCM doing their best to try and take care of business here. Bite Me bringing out the Amplification Matrix. Tries to do some damage. Maywell out trying to block the amp. That's a good play by Davenport. UCM just trying to keep everything together. They do stabilize here, it looks like. And UCM is going to, again, hold on to the point. But nope, never mind. Lucas Magic comes in with a Graviton Surge. Bite Me throwing out his Immortality Field. And that is going to keep UCM alive for just a little bit longer. Beat coming out. High Noon coming out. Rickless Morty doing his best, trying to take care of business. Doesn't look like it's going to work out. Lucas Magic does fall to Trey, though. Trey picking up the slack. Your Deity does take out Cypress. UCM just finishing out the fights here, Cody.
That's, yeah, I think the ball pick is working very well. You see here, Jonah is able to call and force an engage. With the ball's high mobility and high survivability, you can force a fight, and you can force things to happen before they want them to. And being able to make an engagement happen when you want it is half the battle.
Oh, this is very true, Cody. So UCM here getting ready. Amplification makes sure comes out on the side of Kawhi, trying to get them off of the point, which does work out, but they all charge back onto the point instead of just holding off onto the back, trying to see what all they're doing. I hear Blizzard coming out. Big slam coming out from Deity, but UCM is going to fall. Basically, Drury is pressing all the Qs. Death Blossom coming out. Jonah with his fun little trick of just holding underneath. And he does have mines. He's ready to contest if he can. UCM holding on to the point as best as they can. UCM, Jonah popping out the mines does help. DD Gaming taking care of business in the back line and just booping everybody off map. They do hop off the point, and UCM will take Oasis, which does mean UCM will win the series here for tonight. Davenport. I'm sorry, if I've been saying Drury at all, I don't know. Rickless Morty here with the POTG, though, and we're going to sit here and watch that. That must have been something sick. So UCM pumping out the damage here, and just this has been just such a good match here. And so UCM just doing some fantabulous stuff here, Cody. And so that was a good map. That was a good map.
Very good. That was very good. We played our brawl hard like we were supposed to. If you're going to brawl, you stick to it. You stick to that gun because that's the best gun you got.
That is very true, Cody. And after a word of our sponsor, we'll bring you our post-game show, and we'll give you our player of the game.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate it. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
You don't want a piece of paper. You want an opportunity. The opportunity to lead, to innovate, to transform. The opportunity to excel beyond what you thought possible. At the University of Central Missouri, your goals are achievable because we give you more support so your ambition faces fewer obstacles. Embrace your potential with the backing of 150 years of academic excellence, with undergraduate and graduate degrees available in Warrensburg, Lee Summit, and online. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
everybody, and welcome back to the Taylor Industries post show. That was just some crazy stuff out there, Cody. Like UCM and Davenport did some great stuff.
They did. Both played very well. On Busan, it was very scrappy. It went back and forth, but I feel like it came down to a difference of heels, because Bite Me and DD Gaming were playing just exceptionally well in their role, playing very supportive, helping their team do whatever they had to do to win the fight. Our tank line was consistent throughout the entire match. Our DPS popped off, especially on Dorado. I saw a lot of great play from both of them on Dorado.
Oh, that's very true. UCM was just doing some great kind of meshing and whatnot and working together. Basically, after that Numbani map, I guess UCM just kind of sat down, readjusted their focus, and were then able to just kind of do what they do best in that brawl composition, just go forward with it. And they even adapted an Oasis and kind of jazzed it up a little bit with a different kind of lineup. And so I'm really impressed. And as you said, the tank line was pretty stellar tonight. And with that being said, your Culver's player of the game will be Thomas Reinhardt / Deity. And Cody, can you just kind of run us through why he earned that honor tonight?
Well, he was so consistent with his Zarya play throughout the entire match. He was able to find value with his bubbles, both saving lives and then granting himself in high charge, so that when an enemy would come within range, he could just melt them incredibly fast and just shut down any attempt they had at taking the fight and swaying it in their favor.
Oh, so true. That's the great play that we like to see. And this is their first game of the semester with this new kind of lineup that we have going for UCM here. And so that's just something great to see. And with that being said, that does end it for us here tonight. I've been your host here, Cordell Ballard, with my co-host here, Cody Polly. And we will see you all next time.